Good night, everyone doing, how everyone doing. Look, my name is Irma J, and this will continue on More Than a Conqueror. Now, we left off at my story, my pain and suffering that I was going through. And it was severe, so and so many years, so I had to go in and pray to God to move my trials away from me. I mean, I couldn't take no more. I was at a boiling point. So sometimes God will not answer you the same day, or He might not answer you weeks or months later. But what I did weeks later, I went back in. I said, if you can remove my trials away from me, could you just lift my burdens a little bit? And if sometimes he would do that, because sometimes your perfect purpose is dealing your trials to toughen you up. So I don't know what God plans is. I don't know um what it's in for, but I know God will not have you in there to harm you. He always gonna be for your good. So He did answer my prayers to lift some of the burdens off of my shoulder. Now sometimes you have a purpose on your life, certain things you have to go through, certain things you have to go through. But I made it through. I made it through the hard times. See, to be a more than a conqueror, you got to go through the hard times, the tough times. And sometimes it might be a short time, sometimes it might be a long time. But you got to go through it. And you got to have hope, you got to have faith, and you got to have all those things. And the main thing, you have to stay connected with God. You have to keep praying. You have to stay rooted in your Bible to make it through. I mean, because the time will be hard. And I didn't look at the uncertain. I didn't look at the uncertain. I just kept on moving. I kept on moving. I just kept on praying. I kept on looking up to God. Now, Psalms 121 said, lift up my eyes to the hill. Where does my help come from? My help come from the Lord. See, when you have to uncertain like that, just lift your eyes up to the Lord, and He will continue on fighting your battle. And I know I used to worry so much that I had to get to a point. Sometimes you got to let go and let God handle it. Now stay connected with God. Also stay connected, praying and staying in my Bible. You have to do all that to fight whatever you come your way. You know. So doing the Lord. So I stay connected to God. Pray and I stay rooted in my Bible. Now the Lord watches over you, and the Lord is your shade at your right hand, knowing that the Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. He will watch over your going and coming. Now I went through these things, the pain and suffering, but I had to go through it. I had to go through it. It was part of my purpose. But I'm still here alive. You might have some wounds, you might have scars and everything else through your body, through your own trials, but you still thank God that you're still alive to tell your story. Now more than a conqueror, because I done went through all the trials, I done went through all the tests, I done went through all that. Then you more than a conqueror when you defeat all your trials. So I'm a conqueror, I'm an overcomer, and I am a survivor. I never give up. No matter what came my way, no matter what I had to face, no matter how it looked, I still never give up. You have to keep on holding on, no matter how it looked. You got to keep holding on, and you have to stay connected with God in the mix of your trials. So it's okay when the pressure is too hard to ask God to remove it or ask God to lift some of your burdens off of your shoulder. It's okay because Jesus did the same thing. Jesus did the same thing. The night before his crucifixion, he prayed have his cup pass, to pay pass. But he had a purpose too. Now Jesus prayed to my Father, may this cup be taken from me, not as I will, but as you will. Now when things look uncertain, keep praying. Keep praying. Now Jesus, he couldn't remove the cup from Jesus because that was part of his purpose. That was part of God's plan. And see, Jesus already know he had to die for our sin. But sometimes when you get close to that point, he was like, I don't know if he got cold feet, but he got down on his knees and started praying, and he couldn't be removed because that was part of his purpose. And mine, I had to go through the hard and rough time because Jesus suffered for all of us. So we can't just be no more than a conqueror and not suffer and go through anything. We got to go through something. So stay connected, and no matter how things look, never give up. You have to go through this suffering and pain in order to be more than a conqueror. You got to defeat your trials. You're gonna be tested and everything else. You got to defeat them trials. Whatever the devil throw at you, you got to defeat it. You got to defeat it. In order for you to be more than a conqueror. So I want to say, anybody in their trials, for you to be more than a conqueror, you got to go through it because you're gonna be tested. You got to go through. You got to defeat every trial that come your way, and you cannot throw in the towel. You cannot give up. Because see, your reward comes at the end. Your reward come at the end. So don't think you're doing it for nothing. So I want y'all to say, hang on in there. Never give up. Keep your faith. Keep your faith. And I see you next time. Have a blessed night.